What's good, everyone? This is your boy DJ's Raw Uncut Truth. Give you that raw content that you deservedly need. And let's talk about our boy, Lonzo Ball. So, the 2020-2021 season is going to be the most important season of his career. He has to beat a stigma that he can produce offensively in a scoring perspective. He's got to convince ownership as well as other teams that he's willing to expand his game, that he will develop more of a go-to move, consistency. That's his number one thing for Lonzo to improve on. He has to be more consistent. Even the stretch run that he had from January to March, which was a great output for him. There were still things that he had to rectify. I remember there were games where Lonzo would average about 18 and 10 assists for a couple of games, and then he'll have a 7-point, 7 assist game here and there. He has to stop all that. This is the very most important offseason of his career. I see him working out extremely hard. That's a great step. I hope he's expanding his skills and working with Jermaine Jackson or someone that's really good at skill development. But he's working on his core. He's working on his speed and strength. And that's not a weakness for him. Everyone knows that Lonzo is a fast player when he's engaged. But I would like to see a mid-range game develop. You see Kawhi and KD and players like that, Jimmy Butler and others have developed their mid-range game, and you see them winning right now. If Lonzo can find a way to use his 6'6" frame and establish a mid-range floater, mid-range shooting, etc., that will open up the offense as well as keeping opposing teams honest. When you look at film, a lot of teams, when they play the Pelicans and they're preparing for Lonzo Ball, they're just sitting on the passing lanes, daring him to score. That's a free bucket. And when Lonzo realizes that, his team that he plays on, their offense will open up. And then the efficiency will increase. Don't forget, Lonzo had the most turnovers he ever had in his career this year. And that's because of forcing passes, telegraphing. In the NBA, you cannot do that. You got to keep teams honest. It's just like when a basketball player is left-hand dominant and he can't even do a move on his right hand a couple of times, you're going to have defenders sit on that. It's the same thing with Lonzo and scoring. But I have faith in Lonzo. I think the bubble presented a sense of urgency for him. And the negativity that he received, I think he's going to respond well. I hope he does. Let's put the elephant in the room, man. Let's keep it real. LaMelo's going to get drafted, and I know he doesn't want his younger brother balling more than him. If I was in the NBA and I had a sibling getting drafted, I want to be the top dog. And hopefully Lonzo has that mindset. He's got to realize this is his time. And this right now, what I'm about to bring up is so important. Mike D'Antoni. Now, before you all have your opinions about what I'm about to say, stating that, Mike D'Antoni coaches the Rockets, he will never coach the Pelicans. Gotta pay attention. Mike D'Antoni's on his last year of his contract. Knowing the Rockets, and I'm from H-Town, they could save money by getting a younger coach that runs that same system. It may not be as good as Mike D'Antoni, but they'll save money. And the Pelicans are willing to come off a lot of money to get a coach like Mike D'Antoni. That's why there's reports swirling around saying that Mike D'Antoni is a potential head coaching candidate for the Pelicans. If the Pelicans get Mike D'Antoni, that would be a win. And that would actually extend Lonzo's career. He plays a style and system that fits Lonzo to a T. I tell you one thing, you won't see Lonzo standing in the corner. You will see instant offensive flow, a pace increase. See, the Pelicans had an increased pace, but the ball movement was terrible. A lot of ball hogging, ISO ball, stagnant offense. And that's because Alvin Gentry didn't have the guts to tell some of the players to stop ball hogging and give the ball to the point guard. I've seen Mike D'Antoni on the sidelines getting on his players. The good thing about the Rockets is everybody knows it's James Harden's team. So Mike D'Antoni doesn't have to get on the team that much. If this move happens with the Pelicans and somehow they acquire D'Antoni, things will change. Averages and scoring with certain Pelican teammates will change. The whole philosophy and roster will be a lot different. And I tell you one thing, you won't see your Okafors and Frank Jacksons and all those other bench players, Etuan Moore. You probably won't see them on the roster. That's just my guess, if they get D'Antoni, that, by the way. Because all that not playing within the offense, jacking up shots is not it at all. That's just not going to happen with this coach. But at the end of the day, it's on Lonzo to rise above the hate, to rise above the criticism and the doubt. It's his job, not anybody else's. If the Pelicans get D'Antoni and Lonzo, let's say Lonzo doesn't improve and it's score only a little bit, but not enough, it's not going to mean that much. So it's on Lonzo to put in that work. Like I stated earlier in this video, LaMelo Ball's getting drafted. And they will always be compared. Who's doing better? I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Now's not the time for Zoe to be comfortable, and sometimes Zoe got to get on his teammates. I want to see that more, demanding the ball. A coach can do so much. A coach can tell his players, don't do that, do that. At the end of the day, it's a mixture from coaching to player leadership. And that's what I want to see from Lonzo. So that's all I'm about to say. All praise to the Most High, because without him, none of the things we have is possible. I hope all of you guys are doing well. Peace and love to you all.